to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, "That's not how I sound," and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. All right, everybody, welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast. In our latest episode, we present a practice dialogue between a real estate agent and a buyer covering 3 common objections. And they are: I do not want to sign a buyer's representation agreement today. I want to be free to work with other agents. And why do I need to sign an agreement? Tune in to learn effective strategies for addressing these objections and gain valuable insights on overcoming resistance and building trust with your clients. Enhance your skills in handling buyer objections and excel in the competitive world of real estate. Happy listening. And as usual, I'll just read over to set the stage again. And
Excuse me.
well, again, you're working with a buyer who is either disapproving or disagreeing with you. They either want to get rid of you or reject your point of view about something. Keep in mind, an objection is the buyers communicating with you. There are 4 primary objections: 1, hiring an agent; 2, signing an agreement; 3, making a decision; 4, during offers and negotiations. And the only requirements are to be prepared when to handle objections when talking to buyers and sellers. And the intention is to overcome the objection by answering their questions or alleviating their concerns. That's about it. So today we're going over those, starting with, I do not want to sign a buyer's representation agreement. Debbie buyer, Emily agent, and then we'll switch.
So Debbie, I get it. Usually when someone tells me they don't want to sign an agreement with me today, it's usually because I've not answered all of their questions. Is that the case here? Was there something I'm missing? What other questions may I answer for you?
Well, Emily, I don't think it's so much that. I think it's that I'm not really understanding why I need to sign the agreement. It's not that haven't listened to what you've said or anything. I just think that I just don't understand the reason why, especially like if I find a house on my own or someone else shows me a house.
Right.
I'm not understanding the whole.
Let me go into a little more detail. It's for both our protections, really. I mean, it's that I exclusively represent you, and I'm going to follow through with what it says I'm going to do in the contract. I'm going to find you the home that meets your needs according to, the other paper that you filled out, the buyer's material form. Telling me, listing, and excuse me, it lists everything that you want. You said you wanted a 4-bedroom house, 3 bath. You wanted, 1,700 square feet to 21 square feet. So it's me saying that I'm going to find you what you want, and it's you protecting me also, that you're just going to work with me, and I'm not going to find you something that you like, and then you're going to go and sign with another agent. It just protects me, it protects my broker, protects my business, and it also protects you, saying that I'm going to do what I'm saying that I'm going to do.
Well, I still want to be free to work with other agents. If you find me the house, I don't mind paying your commission, but I just don't want to be held to, 60 or 90-day contract with you and be stuck.
Well, tell you what I'll do, Debbie. If let's revisit, I'll do it for 30 days, if you like, or 45 days. And in that 45 days, say we're 3 weeks in and you feel that I'm not doing a great job, let me know and I'll tear up the agreement. We'll walk away friends. You can work with whoever you want if you feel I'm not fulfilling my part of the bargain. Does that sound like a fair deal to you?
Well, yeah, I do like the fact that I could do a 30-day versus a 90-day.
Sure.
That does, and I wouldn't be, wasting that much time if I didn't find a home. But I guess that'll be okay.
Okay, so you want to go with 30 days?
Yes.
Okay. Definitely think, now that I have your pre-approval in hand, it's going to go a lot faster and we'll be able to hit the ground running and I'm going to find you what you want. And then we can start, making an offer on a home that you like and we'll go from there. And hopefully we'll get you in your new home within the next couple of months.
Yes, and I really need to because my lease here ends in 60 days.
Mhm.
The landlord said that he would let me go another 30 days if I needed it to move, but so we're still,
Well, that's nice.
talking total 90 days.
Right. Which is another reason why you should sign an agreement. It's holding me accountable to do what that I'm doing what I say I'm gonna do within the time that I'm gonna do it.
Okay. No, that
Great.
sounds
Awesome.
that sounds reasonable.
Perfect. All right, sign here
Okay.
and then we'll go from there.
All righty.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you for kind of easing my mind.
Sure.
So I have a quick question before
Oh,
we switch it here. I'm curious, what do you guys think is the real reason why someone would hesitate to signing an agreement? And
just
I can
because
tell
they're
you what
nervous.
my perspective, because I think I told you this before when I was looking for my
Oops.
home. I contacted a lady and
Well,
she wanted me to sign a contract, but I was very uneasy about the office I was sitting in. I was uneasy about her as her experience level. It just did not seem like anything I wanted to be tied into, because contract means that you're tied into something. You're agreeing to something for a period of time. And I didn't want to do that.
right. Yeah, so you had some
Doubts.
objections because there was some red flags, obviously.
Yeah,
She
for
wasn't
sure.
making you feel good.
No, it was very uncomfortable situation. And then I
Okay.
found the lady that I ended up working with, and I told her, I said, I'm really not comfortable signing anything because I have to move. And if you don't do this for me, then I'm screwed.
What was her response?
The second lady,
The first one when you said no,
first one, I said, no, let me think about it. And she actually had to go pick up her kids from school.
yeah,
So it was kind of an easy out. I said, I'll think about it. Let me get back to you. And
and you never got back to her.
I never got back to her because I went with someone else.
yeah, I had that experience not with a house, but my son and I had gone to a dealership to buy my husband a new truck, and it was going to be a surprise. And the first dealership I was there for 4 hours and not getting anywhere. And then I said, I'll think about it. I'm not ready to do this. And I went to another dealership with, the same day. And literally I was in and out in an hour with the best deal ever. And the first dealership, I just felt like they're not working with me. They're not listening to what I'm saying, and I felt very uncomfortable. The second one, it was like, wow, this was too easy. So it was, if you have a bad feeling, you might be hesitant.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the second agent, she was with the Coldwell Banker. She didn't make me sign anything, but we had a verbal agreement.
Yeah.
She's like, look, you don't have to sign. I just want your word that, if I work for you, that you're gonna go with me. I said, absolutely.
Yeah. And in your
And I never
case,
had to sign anything either, but I was also not really good friends, but one of my good friends, we all knew each other.
yeah.
So,
And in the case of a verbal agreement, you obviously had the integrity to honor that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some people don't.
That
And
actually upped my confidence in her that she didn't need me to sign before she started working for me. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yep. Some people don't honor their word, and
Sure. Of
that's
course.
on them. I prefer and highly recommend, at least, that we work with people under contract. You guys know that. Um,
Absolutely.
yes.
However, in the case like this, it is our job to build that rapport, to build that relationship, to build that trust. So, so that they do have the confidence. Obviously, in those cases, they did not do that for you. And I think that's the critical piece here is recognizing that these people are coming to us for our expertise, whether we're new or not. Like we always say, you could be new to real estate, but you're not new to business. And in general, building relationships, building rapport is something that you've always done. So that can easily be transferable and transferred over to real estate, regardless of how long you've had your license. So I think that's the real key is just building that rapport, building that trust, building that confidence, and making them feel good that, hey, when I work with you, I'm going to be treated well, fairly, and you're a stand-up person. So
Well, and it had a lot to do, Darren, with the aesthetics of where we were. She had me come to her office. One side was the real estate office, the other side was the loan, because they did their own loans in-house, right?
mhm.
And it was just a dirty, dingy,
Yeah.
like a boiler
Presentation.
room. Just like it was like, why am I in the middle of El Cajon on Main Street? I'm like, why am I here? Because she sounded very nice on the phone when I talked to her, and I went to meet her, and I'm just like, where the F am I? So,
Presentation, then. Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the presentation. Not only do we have a physical buyer's or seller's presentation that we go through, that we show them,
mhm,
but we also have an environment to present in a very nice. That's why I really like where we're at now,
mhm,
because we can show a level of professionalism
yeah,
that
for
is
sure.
much better than like the situation that you just described. Anyways, let's move on and
Okay.
flip the script and then we'll be finished.
Okie dokes.
Okay.
So Debbie, I get what you're saying, I guess, but I don't really want to sign anything. I don't want to be committed. I'm, just starting to look. It's just,
Well, and I've had concerns like this from past clients,
mhm,
and usually there's a couple of reasons. Um, Number one, maybe I haven't explained the whole process so that you understand the reasoning behind signing the buyer's representation agreement, and hopefully I can clear that up for you. And secondly, sometimes people are just scared and hesitant to sign on the dotted line, but there is a reason behind you signing the buyer's representation agreement. If I am, giving you 110% to find you your next home, and we have a deadline, you have to be out within 60 days of your lease, and then I would give my all. And coming from my point of view, I hope you can understand this. If I'm, putting in hours of work to get you what you need and all your wants and needs, and then you were to go with another agent who maybe showed you one house, then, it's part of the buyer's representation agreement is you being with me wholeheartedly and vice versa. But being an agent, my responsibility is to fulfill your needs. And, what I could do if it would make you feel better is, make it a 30-day buyer's representation, agreement. But that there are reasons behind it. And I hope you understand that. I've shown you what I'm going to do to help find you a home. I already have you on a drip so you can look at homes. And, you know, I think we communicate great together. What are your thoughts?
I don't want to be locked in because I mean, 30 days is a long way out. I have to move in 2 months. I don't know. I just want to be able to work with whoever gets me the house first. So that might be you, which will be great, but that might be that other guy, Darren, that I told you I talked to. Might be him. I mean, whoever finds me the home first, he didn't make me sign anything. So, you know,
Well, I can understand that, but if if you need someone who's going to give you 110% and we work with each other on an exclusive basis, that means that I'm devoting, my time and vice versa, your time to work together to meet your deadline. And I don't know if just hoping and praying that another agent's gonna just find you a house, without them signing. Most
well, don't you think it's
brokerages,
incentive if I tell the other agent, whoever finds me the house first? That's kind of incentive for you guys to work a little harder.
no, to me, it's any reputable brokerage. Their agents have the client sign a buyer's representation agreement because that's showing goodwill on both sides.
Oh,
That
okay.
I'll find you a home and that you will stick with me because, I'm going to be the one out there, so to speak, pounding the pavement to get you what you need.
Okay. All right. Well, let me think about it, I guess.
Yeah. And truly check out, if other brokerages, I think you'll find that the top, like, spinning your wheels if you don't have, that agreement between two people that they're going to be exclusive to
Right.
you.
Okay. Got it. That makes, and then we'll see where we go. And
Okay.
if I
Well,
change my mind, can I change my mind? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
yes, you can change your mind. If you're not happy with the job I'm doing, I'll be willing to disregard the contract. And, as long as I haven't shown you a property that you end up buying,
Mhm.
because that wouldn't be right. But yes, otherwise I'd be happy to end the agreement if you don't think I've done my due diligence to get you into a new place in the time
Okay,
frame.
that sounds fair.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the BRE, the buyer representation agreement. If I could just have you sign.
Okay. So awesome. Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go find you a house.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. I will be in touch with you, if not later today in the morning, and we'll get on board this weekend when you're not working and look at some homes.
Cool. I'm
Okay,
excited.
sounds good.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. So, couple of things. Good job from both of you. I'll just start from the end first. One, it's no longer called the BRE. It's the BRBC.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that's why we're not going to use acronyms anymore. We're just going to say the buyer's agreement.
Yeah,
Because,
especially for the clients because yeah.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we shouldn't be using acronyms with the clients anyways. Um, when we just, as you both know, I just visited UC Davis with my daughter, and boy, they acronymed us out, and there was so many acronyms all over the place. And they even warned us. They even know. I mean, if you know that it's too much, I mean, come on. That if you know it's too much, then don't use it.
Right.
So,
Okay, now what the BRBC, what's that stand for now? I can't
oh,
remember.
why'd you ask me that?
Buyer representation, broker compensation, I believe.
Okay. And then going back to if they say, "Hey, Emily," because this has happened to me once, um, on the seller side, if they say, "Can I change my mind?" or if we decide not to work with you, then can I get out of it? And the answer is yes. However, I would also add, if we are not a good fit, then I would like the opportunity at least to put you in touch with someone who may be a better fit. And what I'm getting at is referring that out. So in the past, another agent came to us who had a client. They were not getting along, and the client wanted out, and so did he for that matter. And so he decided to introduce them to another agent, which was me and a couple of other people. And we took that on as a referral, and he ended up getting 25% referral fee, and we closed the deal. So it might they might say no, but they also might say yes. And if they do, then at least you've gotten the
That's
whole
something.
deal. Yeah, you got something. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing is when Emily said 30 days, she has 30 days to do this and to buy a home. And whoever I finds it first basically wins the race. If time is really that critical to her, then she doesn't have time to go out and work with multiple agents.
Right.
So I think we can keep in mind, like, Emily, you said you have to do this in 30 days and you're working with multiple people. If you're not committed to one person, then we're all going to give you 50%, 25%, 10% here and there because there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to work with you. And I'm not going to put my time on the line only
Mhm.
to risk you working with someone else. And I just spent a ton of time and never got paid for it. It's not about the money, but it is about my time that I spend with you. So I'll commit to you and I will give you 100%, but I need that in return. That's the only thing about that comment. Because if time is of the essence, then let's use that to our advantage in the scripting. Let's get that thing signed.
Well, I think she kind of did too in her response.
She did. I just wanted to bring it back up because it's critical that we recognize those things. Otherwise, I thought it was good. Anything else to add?
No, but say just like in the Mesa office, do any of the agents ever do it without having the agreement?
Oh yeah. without naming names, I know quite a few people who will do it without one. And the only reason why is because they never either think to ask or they're too afraid to ask. Usually it's because they're afraid to ask because they think they're going to get shot down. And I really believe that it's in the agent's head that, oh, if I ask them to sign something, they're not going to work with me. And that's not the case.
Well, I think there might be another situation where that would happen if you have someone that you work with all the time.
Or a family member, maybe.
Or yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of the successful agents, right, have probably repeat clients, whether they're investing or whatever.
So that's a good point. And the only thing that I can say about that is, without naming names, but remember when we had someone who was a good friend of someone and they went out and purchased a property based, from an open house that they saw with another agent, and the agent who was supposed to be a good friend thought that she deserves a referral agreement just because she was her agent in the past on a couple of homes.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, no,
No,
you don't, because you don't have an agreement with you. And I mean, you don't have an agreement together, and that's your client. If that's truly your client, then why did they go out and buy a house
with someone else?
with someone else, even though that you've
What
helped
if-
them buy multiple homes in the past?
What
The-
about the implied agreement?
Well, it's really difficult to prove implied. It can be done. It can be done, but as long as you have documented proof that
Like
that it is implied,
Yeah.
like a text message or an email or something that confirms, yes, I am working with you, then you can do that. But that's also something that I would highly recommend bringing up to the broker and having that discussion.
Well, and I did have that one guy that I met at an open house who said I could represent him if I gave him half the commission.
Wait, was that another agent?
No, but he was a guy who had an agent that he was working with, but he said he would let me do the deal if I split the commission with him.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, no, go with
Yeah.
your agent.
Yeah, well, he can let you do all that he wants to let you do, but this is what I'm going to do because I allow myself to do. Anyways, let me wrap it up here. So thank you for coming. Appreciate it. You guys are amazing. All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it very useful. To download the script, just go ahead and head over to realestatescriptspodcast.com. There'll be a link there for you to download the script. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, or mentor for specific situations. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall at Repros, California DRE number 0185345.